So hello and welcome. My name is Fred of Fred's Fine Product Reviews, and today I'm taking a look at something that is really unique. This is the Delet-r repeating mousetrap. It's electronic, it's got a motor. The entire thing is printed with a 3D printer. This thing is only sold on Etsy. And it's sold by a company called Trapivation, and the owner's name is Daniel. Now I'm going to go over all the components. I'm also going to demonstrate how it works. So it's got an on-off switch. It's electric. It runs on AA batteries. And we're going to have to open it up, and I'm going to walk you through every single step of it. And I'm going to tell you ahead of time, this is my favorite mousetrap of all time. And I collect mousetraps every single year. Why? Because I have mice. So let's get started. We're going to pull the cover off here. And again, you can see the details of the 3D printing. Takes a screwdriver, Phillips head, and there's a patent on this. So it's an American-made product. Even the batteries come from the United States, and it takes 4 AA batteries, AC Delco. So here we go. We'll load it up. We're going to turn it on, and we're going to cycle through all the cool things that this thing does. So I guess it's good news that nothing can get to the batteries, but I wish it had a manual opening without a screwdriver. So we're going to turn it on, and then the center button there. You have to press that button, and if the battery's charged and the unit's good to go, it's going to turn green. There it is, and it's going to cycle. It has this really interesting mechanism, which isn't just for killing the mouse, but it also drops the mouse into a tray. That is pretty cool. So if you want to be hands-off with a mouse and you want a system that's going to kill them humanely, and by that I mean kills them right away, no suffering, no blood, that's really interesting too. But just the mechanical and electronic combination of function here is really fascinating to me. I know there's a red version out there somewhere. This one obviously is blue, but if you see the red one, it's likely the same thing. And there's an electronic plate there. It's going through a reset. And let me tell you something about the spring. It is very strong. In fact, even in slow motion, this thing closes so fast, it's hard to catch the movement. These are the activating pads. So if you touch both of these, and I highly recommend you do not, this will not be safe around kids or pets, period. That spring is very strong, and I'm going to demonstrate that. But you have to keep those pads clean, so I highly recommend you clean one at a time. And that closing mechanism is very stout. So of course I didn't just get it. This isn't like an unboxing. I've actually used it for quite a while. And that's the bait pad that comes off, and that's where you spread the bait on, so you can take it off and clean it, wash it up. You have to protect the entire trap from the weather though, which is fine by me because I'm going to use it in my basement and I'm going to use it in a storage shed. So I have this fishing lure mouse that I bought. I don't actually use it for fishing. I want to see how it's going to work. So watch this trap go off. When it touches both of the pads, nothing. Okay, maybe I had to put a little water on it so that it would be conductive between the two pads. Still nothing. So I poke it around with a non-conductive pipette here, move it back and forth so that we can get this thing to trigger so you can be as impressed as I am. Nope. Oh well. I guess I'll have to do something else to test it out, but I thought, if I poke it around enough, spritz it with some water, maybe it's conductive. Never touch this thing with your fingers. That will be a sad day for you. So I'm going to take a wire, something conductive. I'm going to touch both of these pads at once and see what happens. Whoa, that's impressive. It's almost like a sandwich maker. So if you're going to make a sandwich out of a mouse, I would say this is it. Now this unit does something really interesting. Once it clamps down, look what it does according to the instructions. It's going to sit there and hold that mouse smashed for a full 10 minutes. I wish they would reduce that time to maybe, 5 minutes. I'm not going to make you watch it for 10 minutes. We're We're going to see how it cycles, but guess what it does? After it holds the mouse there and prevents it from getting away, this mouse being allured, it's not going anywhere. But after 10 minutes, it's going to come over and release your killed rodent right into a tray. And I use peanut butter, of course. No stir creamy peanut butter with 90% peanuts. I guess the rest is peanut oil. Here we are 10 minutes later, and the unit is going to deposit your dead mouse in a tray. Now, the interesting thing I was thinking about here, too, is you could slide this right over to the edge of the table or the shelf or wherever you've set this mouse trap. You could have a plastic trash bag there. You could have a trash can there. And then the mouse would do that. Drop right into it. Touch-free. And then after it's done that and release the mouse into the tray, it's going to reset because this is a repeating mouse trap. Just watching it do its thing is so interesting. This is an example of something very simple made complex, and I have to say I like it. It's also expensive. Did I mention it's only sold on Etsy? This is not a paid advertisement. I paid full price just like anybody else who bought one. So now it's set. And it'll reset an infinite, basically, number of times. I don't know how many mice it can catch. Because, as you'll see in the second half of this video, it catches a lot of them. So, that's the practical demonstration without live mice. You are now cautioned. Dead rodents are shown in the following sequences. So don't watch if you don't want to see dead mice. Here we are. This is a storage area where I keep my bee equipment. I can't have mice running all over my bee equipment and dropping their little pellets everywhere they go. Mice go to the bathroom all day long. Oh, that's a clean kill. So that mouse is done raiding my bee shed. Now here's the thing. There's no movement. You have to, of course, cover it up or YouTube's going to take away your channel or demonetize you or whatever. And by the way, this channel is not monetized yet. Why is that? Because I don't have enough subscribers. So while you're watching this video, maybe click, I don't know, the subscribe button and you can help me out. So of course, another mouse comes along. The first one is in the tray. So this one, oh, that one was going to check it out too, but it barely stepped on those pads. And the reason I say it's cleaner than any snap trap, there is no blood. The mouse doesn't suffer. The mouse doesn't twitch around. The mouse doesn't drag your trap away. Look at this mouse inside my basement. Now, we plug holes. We look for the way that these mice are getting into the house, but there's nothing worse than listening to a mouse chewing on your woodwork in the middle of the night in the wall somewhere. This trap solved my problem. And these are deer mice, by the way. They're not house mice. And they're prolific, and we had a warm winter. What does that mean? It means a lot of them are out there. And so you can't have them in your house. So there's another one that's no longer going to be running around in my basement. Now this is the tail end of it, out in the shed again, and it's resetting. My cameras didn't always pick up on the movement of the mechanism itself, and that's because they're thermal slant action related cameras. So there's that little mouse checking things out. And often when you have regular traps, and sure, they're cheaper, you could use a snap trap and throw it away with the mouse each and every time, but guess what? Once the snap trap works, it's a single-use trap. This one will reset itself. So there it is, holding that mouse for a full 10 minutes, and then it's going to deposit it. Now sometimes the bait would be licked off of your snap traps, or the snap trap itself would be completely gone. Not the case here. And here it is, the Delet-r repeating mouse trap, making a deposit in the little tray, and you don't have to touch it. So now look, there's 2 mice in the tray already. You would think another mouse would come along and say, whoa, there's dead mice there. I'm not going into this trap, but you know what? They just don't care. Infinite resets. I'm sure it's really not infinite, but I've been running this thing all winter long, and the batteries are still strong. How do I know? Because the light turns green. If the light doesn't turn green and it stays red, it's time to replace those AA batteries. Look, there's mice in the tray. Do you think these other mice care that there's mice in the tray? No, they don't. They just go ahead and, heaven forbid, a rat shows up. If a rat showed up, it would actually steal the dead mice from the tray or eat them right on the spot. Now, I would like to see a larger version for rats, and I wrote to the company and put in my request because the minute that's available, I'm going to buy one because of its open design. Mice and rats are perfectly comfortable walking all over the top of it. And when one mouse is dead, right there, it does not stress out anybody. Oh, that one's gone too. So the thing is, I made this video extensive because I wanted to cycle it over and over. I don't do a review of something just if it works one time. Also, you may be wondering, how about when the temperature is really cold, like out in this shed? It was 20 degrees, 15 degrees, 9 degrees Fahrenheit. No problem. I don't know what the final version is going to be, but this one is made with a 3D printer. Maybe the final material, once the patent is approved, is going to be much tougher. But this one did not show any brittle frailty or cracks or difficulty functioning when it's really cold. I already mentioned that you can't have it out in the weather for obvious reasons. But you could put a box around it. You could set this in your garden and put a big tote over the top of it and then have it protected from the weather up on some bricks, and then you could get infinite vole snaps if you needed to. There again, dig a hole next to it so that every time it snaps a rodent, it reaches over. Instead of dropping it into that tray, it could be dropping it into a hole that you dug. Look at this little rascal. Oh. They still come, no matter what. Mice will climb over the top of a dead mouse and finish eating the bait. So that's one of the concerns I had, is if this thing is going to hold a mouse for 10 minutes and another mouse is hanging around, wouldn't that other mouse have then the time to go and clean up the bait? I guess not. So they just keep piling up. You can put on your nitrile gloves or whatever and go out and collect them. You can bring out your little zippy bag, drop them in there. You can feed them if you know somebody that raises reptiles that needs meat. You could save a mouse from the pet store and put these right in the freezer. And then, of course, give them to your reptile enthusiasts or an animal rescue, animal recovery for wildlife recovery. They all need mice. And as long as you get these and put them in the freezer right away, they're so good to go and they can be cycled back to some other animal. Lots of things eat mice. Now you might be thinking, why didn't you just live trap these things and turn them loose outside? Did you know they can come back from more than a mile away? That's right. The deer mouse, if you turn it loose, will come back from over a mile away. So you don't solve your problems by turning them loose outside. You solve your problems with a kill trap. And of all the kill traps I've tested, and even live catch traps that I've tested, this is hands down the most effective trap I own. Do not put your fingers in this trap. Well, that's the end, and I want to thank you for watching. If you found this review helpful, please subscribe, click a like, let me know. I'm Fred, and this is Fred's Fine Product Reviews. If you want to see more videos like this one, please let me know down in the comment section. Now you might be wondering, what did I do with all the mice that were collected during the making of this video? Well, I'll show you. Here at the end, we put them outside. Look at these raccoons. They're ready for some mice. Now, I don't want to bring raccoons up to my house, so of course we put them way out in the woods. But they are more than happy to collect any mice that you've trapped, or rats, or voles, or moles, or anything else that you're having to control in your house or on your property. Here's a fox. Now, a fox in winter, which is when the mice move into your house, by the way, they will go right through the snow and get the mice that you put out there. They have to make it through winter. And you could help them out a little bit. And here's another fox. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing your comments down below. If you have any questions at all, please look down in the video description for links to this trap and other information. Thanks for watching.